Hi, if you're a chiropractor in private practice interested in getting 2 times, 5 times, or even 10 times the amount of quality new patients that you presently get a month and with predictability, then this quick video could well be the most important 15 minutes that you spend on your practice this entire year. Instead of wondering why your Groupon ads or your Facebook ads aren't getting the results that they used to get, what if instead you had set things up so that your phone actually rings almost every single day with new patients looking to come to your office for treatment? Imagine how you'd feel if you never had to worry about patients missing their appointments due to family issues, travel excuses, or illness problems because you have a proven, predictable set of systems running in the background of your practice, generating high quality new patients every single day on autopilot 24/7, 365. The fact is virtually no chiropractors knows how to set up their office or their marketing systems so that they never have to worry about not having enough quality new patients ever again. So to bring this point home, I just want to present a quote by the venerable Carl Jung. And he says, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Now look, it may not be fun to become conscious of the unpredictable and to the uncertain reality that you're facing being a chiropractor or in chiropractic practice, but I promise you today that I'm going to show you a way out so that you'll always know what to do and always know how to build your practice steadily, predictably, and quickly, and in a real easy way that leaves you knowing that you never have to suffer the uncertainty of never having a full practice again. Hi, my name is Dr. Jason Tirado. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share exactly how myself and my clients have installed predictable systems in our practices for generating 20, 30, even 40 quality new patients in your office every single month. And I'm going to show you how you can do the exact same thing. I'm also going to share with you, the biggest mistakes that most chiropractors are making when it comes to getting new patients and actually keeping patients. I'm going to show you the power of knowing who you are as a chiropractor and sticking to what you do best. And I'm also going to show you the simple, proven 4-step formula that I created that generates a steady stream of quality new patients, how you could actually start putting this to work immediately inside your practice right now. These are the same strategies that I've used today and used all the time to grow my practice and other million-dollar practices, helping doctors go from struggling in their practice to practice success and practice confidence. You see, I know this real well because years ago, I was in the same shoes that you're in right now, and I was struggling with my own practice, and I was frustrated like you. I used to wonder, what was it that made some chiropractors millions living in these big homes, driving these really nice cars, going on these lavish vacations, while me and a bunch of other chiropractors used to struggle with things like overhead, stalled practice growth, and making less money than we could in a full-time job. And so after talking to hundreds of chiropractors, talking to practice consultants, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, and being a chiropractor for over 30 years, I realized that much of what I was being taught in our profession was absolutely dead wrong. In fact, I came to the realization that a lot of what was being taught in our profession was completely counterintuitive to what it really took to build a practice. And well, the best way I could explain this to you is with the story of actually how the Wright brothers invented the world's first flying airplane. You see, back in 1903, the race all around the world was to invent the first plane that could fly. And most of the people became completely obsessed with the engine. And that's what they did. They started larger and larger engines with more and more horsepower and strapping these huge engines to planes. And they completely ignored things like aerodynamics, things like wings on a plane. Well, this resulted in some of the most fanciest and some of the most powerful engines in the world that the world has ever seen. But it also resulted in planes that couldn't get off the ground. And they were great to look at, but these planes were actually completely useless until the Wright brothers came along. You see, the Wright brothers took a completely different approach. The Wright brothers obsessed with planes, with the aerodynamics of a plane. You see, they first focused on a plane that could glide without an engine. And then when they had the recipe right, and they strapped on an ordinary engine to it, voila, the first flying plane was invented. And I want to pause for a moment. I just want you to pause and just let that sink in. Really let that sink in, because that's a big one. It's almost the exact opposite to what all these coaches and these consultants in our chiropractic profession are feeding you. Today in the chiropractic industry, I think we're repeating history of this crazy engine obsession. You see, most chiropractors and consultants and coaches out there who want to build their practices, they're obsessed with like the hottest marketing gimmick or the piece of shiny chiropractic equipment, and they're completely ignoring their system inside their office to get and convert new patients into patients that actually pay, stay, and refer. And most chiropractors and a lot of these chiropractic gurus and coaches and consultants, they're obsessed and they're frenzied over the new Facebook ads and how to put Facebook ads out there and Instagram ads and advertising features and the way to retarget people. You know, the latest shiny piece of chiropractic equipment like a decompression table or a laser, and they think it's going to build their practices for them. But in reality, all they're really doing is just strapping on a larger and more powerful engine to a fundamentally flawed plane. And so when I realized this a long time ago, it just changed my entire way of thinking and practicing. In fact, it changed my entire paradigm. And so I began studying and searching for predictable systems to acquire new patients and also predictable systems to convert these new patients into patients that would pay, stay in my practice, and refer others like them. And so when I finally had figured out the formula on how to do that, that's when my practice began to grow and grow and grow. And as my practice grew, many of my chiropractic colleagues began to see the changes in the growth of my practice. And they wondered like what it was I was doing to grow my practice so large and so quickly. You know, they wanted to know who was the guru. And so with my newfound management skills and my marketing skills, I began to help out many of my colleagues on a one-to-one basis. Having 30 years in practice and being once where a lot of my colleagues were, I could easily diagnose their practice problems, and I knew exactly what they needed to elevate their practice overnight or almost immediately. And as soon as I started working with them, the results were a huge success for the doctors that I work with, and they can be with you also. So, you know, this went on for a few years until like one weekend at a continuing ed seminar. I was hanging out with some of the doctors there, and a light bulb just went off in my head. And after talking to a dozen of these chiropractors, I realized that like many of these chiropractors in the seminar, I had helped grow their practices. And I built some amazing relationships with some of these guys and girls, and I loved helping out each and every one of them, just changing their practice and seeing their lives change because they were doing so much better in practice. And so I took the hint, you know, and I decided to help chiropractors go from where they are now to building the practice of the dreams. And so today I want to help you live a better, much more abundant life, and to help, you know, get you where you want to be in practice by nudging you into doing things that most chiropractors sometimes feel a little uncomfortable with, and that's marketing, learning a little bit of technology, and allowing abundance to flow more into your life. You know, when you know exactly and specifically what you need to do in these areas to build your practice, the results can be absolutely amazing. You know, one of my friends, I call him a friend, he's also a chiropractor. His name is Brian. His practice had installed at around $125,000 a year for almost 3 years. I doubled his practice in 90 days with my systems. He literally had to turn off his marketing systems because his practice just literally grew so fast he couldn't handle all the new patients that he was getting. I mean, he now knows exactly how to grow his practice wherever he wants to and feels as if he's in complete control of his destiny. And allow me to share you another story so you can understand the kind of results that I get with my clients. Meet Ryan. You know, he was a one-man chiropractic office. He had no employees. He went from $65,000 a year, and after implementing my systems, he went to $65,000 a month. And now he has 4 employees. He works less, and he has more predictability, and will be at 7 figures, I mean, probably by the end of the year. I'm just absolutely amazing. Now meet Catherine. Catherine's a highly skilled woman, very, very compassionate chiropractor. Who, when I met her, she was totally overworked. She wasn't making enough money. She was associating 2 days a week just to make some extra cash. I mean, she was really confused about marketing, scared about technology, and she was worried that she'd actually have to close her office or close her practice because she was having difficulty paying her staff. I mean, she was overworked, she was tired, underpaid, and scared and didn't know what to do. You know, she had no idea what to do to build her practice up. And that could be very scary. But thankfully, I did, and I could help her. And so what we did together is we implemented this 4-step formula that I'm here to tell you about today. But before we began even building her practice using the 4-step formula, it was time for her to get perfectly clear about her strengths as a chiropractor. And believe me, she had a bunch. So let me just state this explicitly. And just listen carefully. You know, you can't just serve anyone in practice. If you think you're everything to everybody, then you're really nothing to nobody. And so one of the first things that I do with my clients is I walk them through a series of questions that are designed to help them get a clear idea of exactly who they want to help and who fits into that ideal profile and who doesn't fit into that ideal profile. And that's extremely important. So first I started her off with a 30-minute strategy call. And I walked her through a list of questions and narrowed down who her ideal patient was and the person that she wanted to treat and that she knew she could deliver amazing results for. And so once we had our ideal patient outlined, it was then time to dive into the 4-step system that I designed to build out and grow her practice. And the second step was to take a hard look at her office and begin laying the groundwork for seeing a lot more new patients. You know, most doctors don't want to take a good look at their practice or a hard look at their practice, because here's where you and I just kind of discover why the look of your practice has a lot more to do with the success or your success than you actually think. I mean, you'd be amazed what you don't need to do with the overall look at your practice if you just get a few key things right. And so here's where we get together and we do a real deep dive and carefully examine your office and its procedures so that we find that real sweet spot that your market is looking for in your community, and also just determine if you're doing more to actually push patients away than attract patients to your office. You know, another step is to show you how to properly answer the phones in your office. I mean, it's extremely important. And just show you how to get your phones answered live 24/7 so that it ensures your best chance of just turning the callers into patients for life effortlessly. You know, how you handle your phones, it really makes all the difference in converting the right leads into incredible new patients. And think about it, with 100% of your business moving through the phone, it's the one place where you don't have a lot of control, because you, the doctor, you're not there answering the phone yourself. And it's not necessarily the most important job in the office, but oftentimes it's the weakest link in your chain when you think about it. So the third step was to put in an automated marketing system that would continuously bring in new, fresh patient leads. And the fourth step is to fix the leaky bucket. It's that causes patients to fall out of care. And so we do this with communication systems, both online and offline, with new and the existing patients, so that they all, not some, but all of them become ideal maintenance patients that want to pay, stay, and refer others like them. And so what happens after you put all these processes in place, you know, and you kind of go live with them all at the same time? Well, within 60 to 90 days, your practice can jump from 10 new patients a month to 20 new patients a month, and from 20 new patients a month to over 40 new patients a month. I mean, the sky is the limit. And your practice will continue to grow on autopilot, on and on and on, until you just shut off the marketing. And so on the one hand, a few key changes in your practice can really dramatically change the course of your future in a real positive way. But you know, on the other hand, taking this seriously and deciding to implement some of these strategies in your office may be some of the most uncomfortable work that you've ever done. So look, now if you've got any respect for how important the chiropractic principles work and how they actually, they really help people live better lives, then hopefully you can recognize that it's just as important to attend to the key business principles that it takes to run your practice successfully. And anyone who has a practice where they work one-on-one with patients over a long period of time has to appreciate and deal with several key fundamentals. You know, how do new patients find out about it? How do you convert these leads into new patients? And how do you stay relevant to your patients? And how do you provide maximum value to your patients? And how do you convert your patients over time into ideal patients who want to pay for your services, stay for your services, and want to refer other people like them to your office for your services? You see, this has been my area of expertise for over 30 years, and I've been working specifically with chiropractors just like yourself to give you the answers to all these questions, so that the business fundamentals undergirding your practice are just as important as your adherence to the key chiropractic principles that run your practice and that actually help your patients get the consistent results. You know, by now you're probably thinking, how can I set up a predictable system in my practice that could generate 5, 10, 20, like even 40 quality new patients every single month easily, and just put my practice on what we call autopilot? So look, this is perfect for you if you're looking to add a bunch of new patients to your practice. If you're thinking about increasing your fees that you charge, if you want to reduce your workload and attract a steady stream of new patients in a predictable way, if you're looking to learn how to get a steady stream of referrals from your existing patients, then this is perfect for you. Because right now I'm looking to help a handful of chiropractors get these kind of massive results that I've shared with you. And that's why for a limited time, I'd like to work with you in a practice building session, just a strategy session if you meet the criteria below. And so here's how the process works. I'll work with you to create a custom tailored strategy to help you solve those 4 key practice fundamentals that I just spoke about. How to get more potential new patients to find out about you, how to get more patients to accept your treatment recommendations, and how to provide maximum value to your patients so that they can pay, stay, and refer. So the session is going to take 30 minutes, and you're going to be speaking with me personally, just me, not my assistant. So this is a personal one-on-one custom tailored strategy session. And this is where we'll be figuring out what you want and the fastest way possible to make it happen. So who's this for? This is for chiropractors who want to increase the number of patients inside their office. And it's for chiropractors who never want to wonder how to maintain a steady flow of new patients coming into their practices ever again. But it's for chiropractors who know that they're good at what they do and they truly believe that they can dominate their marketplace and make a high 6-figure, 7-figure income doing it. And it's for chiropractors who are ready to start treating their practice like a proper business instead of just shutting their eyes and just kind of hoping for the best. This is for chiropractors who are willing to have some actual skin in the game and understand that they need to invest some money to grow their practice and to take it to the next level. I mean, look, let's face it. Working with me is not going to be cheap, but the vast majority of my clients that work with me, they may back their investment within the first couple of months. And then they want to stick with me for the long term because they see obvious results and they just want to keep growing their practice. Who's this not for? This is not for chiropractors who want to make excuses and complain about everyday life. It's not for chiropractors who aren't willing to lean into the discomfort of learning how to market and sell their services effectively. It's definitely not for these chiropractors who are stuck in information gathering mode and they're not really prepared to take any actions or get results, or they never take any action. That's why they don't get results. And it's definitely not for chiropractors who aren't serious about growing their practice by another 100 grand, or even $1 million in the next 12 months. Now knowing that we're a good fit is really crucial. I want to get all of my chiropractors amazing results and I want to work with them for the long term. And to do that, I need to help you jump out and get a quick ROI. And the truth is that, look, there are some chiropractors who I can't help. And if that's the case, I'll be 100% upfront with you and I'll suggest somebody else or I'll suggest an alternative. I mean, I'm only looking for those chiropractors who are a good fit for the program and who I really know that I'm certain that I can get good results for. So the first step is to complete an application for a private strategy session below. And this application, it's going to be really necessary to determine, number one, if I could help you and if I'm the best person to help you generate those types of results that you want. And number two, that you're ready to step up, you want to commit, you want to take action, and you actually want to do the required work to build your practice faster than ever before. And so once I receive your application, you're going to be able to schedule a time with me to conduct a 30-minute strategy session. And this is where we're really going to start to work together to figure out what you want and how to make it happen in the fastest time possible. And then at the end of the call, one or two things are going to happen. You're either going to be a perfect fit, and then if that's the case, I'm going to extend an invitation to you to work with me as one of my clients. Or look, if it's not a good fit, that's cool too. I mean, either way, you're going to receive an insanely valuable strategy session. We're going to get to know each other. And you know what? You're going to walk away with a newfound clarity as to where you are right now and what's holding you back from achieving the results that you want in your practice. So just that together with the exact next steps necessary to take action and break through your barriers. I'll tell you, it'll likely be the most valuable 30 minutes you ever invest in your practice this year. So I want you to go ahead and I want you to complete your application. It's really important. Go work out your application right now, fill it out, and see if we're a good fit for doing business together. Now, I want you to remember this time and this opportunity is extremely limited because of the intense one-on-one time needed in order to provide you with the results that you want to get. And because, as I said before, I only work with chiropractors who I know with certainty and with conviction that I could generate results for them and get a great return on their investment. Out of every 100 doctors that apply, I can usually work with about 5 clients at a time. And right now, 3 of the 5 steps are currently filled up, and I'm looking to fill the last 2 spots as quickly as possible. So with that being said, please understand that this is a window of opportunity. It's not going to be open for much longer. And what I found is that those chiropractors who have the ability to make decisions and think and act quickly are usually the guys that most likely get the best results, and they most likely become my best client. We crush it together for years to come. So if you feel like this is right for you, you know what? Go ahead. I invite you. Go ahead and apply right now to see if you qualify. And then go ahead and follow the instructions on the next page. Thanks for listening. I look forward to meeting you.